Welcome back, guys. Zell here, and today we're talking about the Byrd Cara Cara 2. It's a pretty interesting entry into the EDC market from Byrd Knives, which is a subsidiary of Spyderco, and I think you guys are going to want to get a look at it, so why don't you go on in here a little closer, and we'll do that. Taking a trip around the Byrd Cara Cara 2, we see it's very similar to the Byrd Metallark. FRN handles, bidirectional texturing. It's very similar but different to what the Spyderco Endura and Delica have. We have pretty good blade centering and torque screw construction and a pocket clip that's very similar to the Spyderco pocket clips. And the clip can be moved to either end of the knife, on either side of the knife, so you've got tip up, tip down, blade forward, blade back, whatever you want to do with it. Also, we can see the lock back here is in a standard Spyderco position. It's about midway, a little less than midway on this knife, making it a little easier to manipulate. And across the back, we have a little bit of jimping here. Now, diving into the numbers, we have a weight of 3.13 ounces, a closed length of 4 7/8 inches, a thickness of 0.4, a height of 1.6. One of the differences between this and the standard Spyderco line is the Byrd line has their own trademark comet-shaped hole here. It's approximately the same size. I think it's 1 millimeter smaller than the normal spider hole. But in my use, it works exactly the same. Stick your thumb in the hole and rotate the blade around. Works just fine. Just like every Spyderco I've had. It's a little sharp when you first get it. A few days of use and the comet-shaped hole smooths out a little bit and isn't quite so hard on your fingers. Alright, to continue with the open numbers, we have an open length of 8.5 inches, a blade length of 3 3/4 inches, with an edge length of 3.2. Part of that blade is ate up by the forward finger choil, which I don't mind at all on this knife. Usually the finger choils on the blades bother me, mostly because it's wasting cutting edge. But on this knife, it's very useful. Whenever I put my medium-sized mitts around the Cara Cara 2, that finger choil comes in quite handy. It makes the knife a lot more comfortable for me. I know some of you guys will generally hold the knife here and consider that choking up for detail work. But for me, this is the way I hold the Cara Cara 2, and it's quite comfortable. Getting back to the blade just for a moment, it's standard Spyderco leaf shape style. It's a kind of a modified drop point with enough raise in the back so that we can get our comet hole in here. And the blade is jimped across the thumb ramp here, and it's pretty decent. It's not Spyderco jimping, but really it works just as well. Also, the blade is 0.1, so 1/10 of an inch thick, and like on most of the Spyderco blades, it trails down and gets narrower as it goes down towards the tip. So definitely not a prying blade. Well, guys, Byrd's Cara Cara 2, it's a pretty nice knife. The example that I got has worked great. The pivot has been better than the Metallark 2. In fact, I haven't done anything to it. It came very much like a Spyderco knife, an Endura or a Delica, any of their FRN knives. It was a little tight out of the box, but with a little bit of use, worked great. For those of you that have concern about the comet hole versus the regular round hole in the Spyderco knives, it's not a problem. After using the Cara Cara 2 and the Metallark for a few weeks, and then sticking one of the Spydercos in my pocket, I actually found I kind of preferred the Comet hole. It's got a little softer feel to it than the round hole from the Spyderco knives. You know, one of the things you have to be aware of, though, is you are getting 8CR13 MOV. It's one of the Chinese steels. It's a pretty decent one, and with the full flat grind, this Byrd gives us on this knife, it holds an edge pretty darn well. With the Cara Cara 2 here, I have not sharpened it. I have stropped it a few times, but I did not sharpen it. I wanted to see how well it would hold an edge out of the box, the factory edge. And it has done admirable. Like I said, I've stropped it a few times just to get that little bit of extra sharpness out of it, but I didn't sharpen it. And it hasn't really done much. You know, maybe a few little microchips, maybe a little bit of a roll, but all in all, I've been impressed. Now, would I buy this knife? Would I carry it? Well, obviously I bought it. I bought it to check it out for you guys and for myself. Would I carry this knife? Absolutely. I would not feel like I didn't have enough knife. At less than 20 bucks, I think it's one of the best bang for the buck knives out there. You do have to be aware of the blade length. You know, if you are in a place where you can't carry a knife with a blade this long, you know, maybe you need to look at the Metal Arc 2 or something else. But construction-wise, this example that I have is right up there with anything I've gotten from Spyderco. And that's to say, it's been great. You know, this one, if you watch the Metal Arc 2 review, I said it wasn't up to Tenacious level, which is another Chinese-made Spyderco knife. This one is. The Cara Cara 2 that I received is excellent. And I know, the elephant in the room. How does it compare to the Endura? We're not going to talk about that today. But I promise you, in a few weeks, you will see a direct comparison of the Cara Cara 2 and the Endura. For now, what I'm going to say is, if you've got 20 bucks to spend, the Cara Cara 2 is a wonderful knife for that amount of money. As far as I'm concerned, it beats out just about anything that I've seen from Kershaw or some of the other manufacturers at that price point. And I don't think you would be in any way disappointed with this blade. Well, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. And as usual, if you would click one of those buttons down there, like, share, subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to give you a moment to do it here. I'll have a little drink. Oh, and the cup. Let's see if I can get our camera here to focus on it. I'll have to get it directly in front of my face for the camera to... There we go. This cup came from Freedom Hydrographics. A buddy of mine that has went into that business is doing a great job. And this is his American Flags and Don't Tread on Me pattern. And he has other patriotic patterns as well as just about any pattern that's out there. I'll leave a link to his Facebook page below and send him a note. He does some really cool stuff. Anyhow, guys, you have a great day, and don't forget to come back next time. We've got a lot more in store.